All right, here we are on the eve of what many are saying is the most consequential election of our lifetime. What do you think? I think it is. I think this is the most important election that we have ever voted in. And tonight, we're unashamedly going to break it down, exactly what is happening, what our choices are, and where we go from here. We're going to make some predictions tonight and get you ready for the big day. Let's go. It's time. Special edition. Facebook also. Here we go. All right, y'all. It's one of them nights. You know, I'm not a big coffee drinker, but, you know, I got me some coffee tonight, and I got to take a little drink here. Yep, coffee's in the house. Big pictures in the house. We're live and on the air. We are live and in color. Oh, yeah. So don't forget, tomorrow night, of course, I think everybody that watches the big picture knows all about this, but if you don't already know about it, then let me just go ahead and tell you that tomorrow night is our special election night coverage. It is going to be off the chain. We are going to have, and it's a little chaotic right now, y'all, but we're going to have multiple locations. We're going to have a decision desk in a remote area that we're going to be able to pipe them in. We've got multiple guests coming in. I'm going to be a guest on other programs, and we're going to try to simulcast them together. So it's just going to be a phenomenal night, and it starts tomorrow night at 6 p.m., and it's going to go to at least 10 p.m. Central Time. And I'm going to tell you what, if it's going crazy and if it's getting close to decision, we'll push it past that time. I can promise you that. But I also want to remind you that we launched this. We're working on our set little by little, getting better and better. It's our show called Waking Up. We may call it something else. We don't know what we're going to call it. But it's our different set where it's a little more casual. We're not going to deal with as much drama as we normally deal with. But, you know, we're just going to talk, Sandy and I, together. So, all right. Here, you got your ears in. You ready? All right, so let me unmute the queen and bring her in. Here we go. There she is, y'all. The queen is in the...
Thank you.
Woo, your hair looking good tonight, baby.
Well, the thing is, when they said, it's going to be huge, I thought they meant my hair.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble with the hair tonight, but I'm here.
There you go.
A little loud. You could probably turn my ears down just a little bit. I'm about to kill myself.
It don't look
my
like
ears.
It don't look like it's too loud. You sure?
Maybe I just need to be quieter.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Talk.
Anyway, excited to be here. Excited to be back with the Big Picture family. I'm just so antsy. I don't even know what to do with myself, right?
Hey, what y'all think about our Big Picture TV we got behind us and our Awake Not Woke placard that we got there,
Hope you guys
which,
like
by
it.
the way, you can get by going to LarryRagland.com, and in our products and in our shop there, you can shop for. You can actually get one a little bit bigger than that. So
because you surely want one in your own home,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. Of course you do.
Oh, wow.
So I've already reminded him, Sandy, but I'm going to throw it up one more time. Tomorrow night, we're going to be here. It's going to be epic.
Epic.
It's going to be at least 4 hours.
JD says tomorrow is Christmas Day. Okay, JD.
Well, if you're
Light
in
a candle.
politics, if you're in the politics, it's Christmas Day.
It is Christmas Day. It's the Super Bowl.
It is.
It's all those things.
It's all of the above. And
all right.
But tonight is the Big Picture regular show, and we are going to cover news. But obviously, it's going to be heavy dealing with the election because
for real, right?
You know, it only comes around every 4 years, but I don't know if we've ever had one of this consequence.
No, it's never been like this.
So give me your thoughts before we go into the news about what are you feeling right now, Sandy? What are you anxious? Are you nervous for the country? What's going on?
Yes, both of those things and more. I don't know. It's kind of like, is it kind of like electricity on your skin for you? I mean, it's just like, yes, we have this awareness and maybe even a little fear for the country, but also just personally, it's just like, I don't know, it's just excitement.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say dread. I'm trying to push that in the back of my mind.
To me, it's like you feel like I'm living through a moment that, you know, people are going to talk about for generations if the Lord tarries his return.
I think that's a good way of putting it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Lots of stuff.
here we are. I mean, let's just do a quick review before we get into the news. I mean, what we've gone through this year, that is insane. And I wished I should have found an article that just sort of itemized it, bullet listed. But just in the past few months, we have seen a president of the United States be shot at and turn his head a millimeter, and it missed his head, which would have killed him instantly, and nipped his ear, gets up and shouts, "Fight, fight, fight." And then not long after that, he's, we have
Talk about the optics, right?
I mean, it was unbelievable. It was like watching a movie. It really was.
It was.
How many times have we said that lately? It's like watching a movie. It's like we're in a movie.
We were in our living room when that fateful day in July happened.
Yeah.
And the TV was on. It was actually on Fox, the rally. But it was turned down, and we were standing there talking and moving through the house, and you said, well, hang on. Back that up.
What just happened? What just happened? Yeah. So we went from that to...
We were live with that.
We had the debate. There was the debacle for Biden. And then all of a sudden, everybody starts freaking out. And apparently, everybody was all of a sudden realized that he had a problem, which was amazing to me to watch that happen on the news.
Listen to me. Do you remember me saying during the campaign way back 2020, I looked at you and said, he does not need to go to the White House. He needs to go to the old folks' home.
Sandy.
Because, look,
you're speaking truth, though. You did say that.
That's harsh, but my goodness.
You did say that.
And to just get the revelation, come on.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And but then all of a sudden he's replaced by no election whatsoever. Kamala's put in office. She shoots up to leading in the polls. And it's still neck and neck. We've had multiple just events that I would say we've had probably 20 October surprises already. And, we have Biden still getting out there making blunders. You got people calling people garbage. You've got
infighting with Biden and Kamala.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I believe upstaging, the one-upping.
Yeah, I believe that that thing that he did this week where he said, he wanted to slap him on the rear end, but he didn't say rear end, and it was a little weird. And it became in the news cycle again. I believe he's sabotaging her. I really do. I believe some of this is planned. I really do.
It really looks like it. But on top of that, one more thing before we get into this first article, does it not feel like someone is at the typewriter creating a fiction the last 2 weeks?
Yeah,
because we really felt like Trump really got a push, and that they were lying about the polls, basically, and that things were way worse than what they were saying for the other side. So, who knows what happens tomorrow? Hey,
and there's a very important comment that we need to fire up here, right here. It says, Sandy, your hair looks great tonight, and Larry, so does your hair. So I just want to say, we both have hair game tonight, so
I love you.
All right, let's get into the news.
Do it.
All right, so this is huge. This is huge.
Like my hair.
It's like your hair. Trump is leading in the Real Clear Politics averages for the first time today, the day before the election. Numbers are exceptional, better than with Hillary and Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. Zoom in a little bit here because of my eyes, my old man eyes.
Am I going to have to drag a pair of glasses out here?
Yeah, I think so.
To start using
for the first time in memory, President Donald Trump leads Democratic radical Kamala Harris in the Real Clear Politics polling averages leading into Election Day. Trump wins if the polls are right. Now, this is Real Clear Politics estimation.
How clear do you think it is, though?
Well, I'm seeing this pretty consistent here.
They've
got 287 for Trump, 251 for Harris. And according to this map, they have him taking Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and of course also out west, Utah, Nevada, and what is that? New Mexico, and so Utah, Nevada, and I don't know what that other one is. I can't even think right now. To the left of New Mexico, Arizona, and so yeah, this would look good here. So let's finish reading what they're saying on Real Clear Politics. With the latest polling added to help Kamala Harris, and I'm not going to read what they said. Trump leads by 0.1%. This is an average from several polls, including the fraudulent polls that oversample for Democrats. Now, Eric Doherty is the one that shared this, and sharing Brendan Leslie, Trump wins if the polls are right. In the ABC 538 poll, Trump leads 53 to 46. And this is their averages here. Trump is 53%, 46% Harris.
How many hours or how old is
this was
says 3 hours ago?
That was earlier today.
Okay.
So when I saved this article, it was 3 hours before that. So this was today. All this is today.
Okay.
And they've got the Electoral College 287 to 251 with no toss-ups in it. But the 53-46 is the popular vote. So, let's go back to what we talked about here, and I've said repeatedly, and I'm not claiming to be the only one. There's many that's done this, but several weeks ago, I just started getting this feeling that not only is he going to win the Electoral College, he's going to win the popular vote.
You have said that multiple times.
And so let's think about this, that if he does win the popular vote and the Electoral College, he's going to have the mandate. And there's just no way that he's going to surprise everybody and win the popular vote, and it ought not also help the senators and the representatives. So I believe he's going to go in, y'all. It's going to make them go crazy and lose their mind. He's going to be the president. He's going to have the popular vote. If that happens, I'm just saying if it does. Right. And then he'll have the Senate, and then he'll have the House. Y'all, they are going to lose their mind. So I really do. And look, let me make it very clear. Make it very, very clear. No matter what you see in the polling, Kamala Harris can still win the presidency. There's just no doubt about it, y'all.
I wish I could read
the key. You see, I got win in quotations.
Right. I wish I could read every comment that's in chat right now. I feel like, probably most people think he's going to pull it off tomorrow, but there are others who are saying, don't count on it. Yeah.
Well, because we know what they're doing.
Sure.
We know what they've done. We know what they're doing. I mean, even today, as late as today, I mean, they are doing last-minute emergency court cases. There are state Supreme Courts are overriding under courts, overriding this court. I mean, there's been 3 changes in the Georgia law today. There's been 3 changes in how long they can count votes in Georgia. The same law has been changed 3 times today.
How many of these states are we really watching?
Probably 7 or 8, but I would think really if you get right down to it, it's probably 5. I think the key states are Georgia. Pennsylvania is the big one. Pennsylvania is the one. Everybody's in agreement on both sides of the aisle. Whoever wins Pennsylvania is definitely going to win the presidency. Either it's 270 or just barely or a landslide. But Pennsylvania number 1, and of course Georgia, and I think Georgia is, most people believe Trump is fairly ahead there. And then they have Michigan and Wisconsin that are going back and forth depending on who you're looking at. But here's the thing. So we're going to talk a lot of politics tonight. A lot of it's going to be my opinion.
Is Virginia one of those states?
Virginia is solidly, usually, typically Democrat. It's a blue state, but he is polling very well there. And if he wins Virginia, it's over. I mean,
you think so?
Oh yeah. If he wins Virginia, that's a sign of what's to come. It's over. He's going to win in a landslide if he wins Virginia. But here's what I've followed a few people today that said start looking for. Said look for Virginia in the sense that if Virginia is ahead at say Trump is ahead in Virginia like at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Central Time, and he's not being overtaken. That's a sign of a landslide. If he's down just 1 point in Virginia, most people are saying that's still a huge indication for a big night. But here's one of the things that
we have so many armchair quarterbacks in this game, right?
Oh yeah, we do.
It's beautiful.
So
beautiful.
This is what I consistently hear that we're going to be looking for tomorrow on our special election night show. That you need to be here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Don't forget, and we'll be here for at least 4 hours, and it's going to be amazing. But here's what people are saying: watch New Hampshire. And they said New Hampshire, because they said if they are able to call New Hampshire for President Trump, then they say, most people are saying that is the sign of a snowball. because they right now they don't believe he's going to win New Hampshire, or if he just barely loses New Hampshire. But they said if he wins New Hampshire, and he's leading in Virginia, that's a sign that we're going to cover tomorrow night. That's going to tell us where it's going. If he's way down in Virginia and he is just getting destroyed in New Hampshire, and let's say he's behind in North Carolina, and if he's behind pretty late in the night in Georgia, that's going to be a sign that's not good for Donald Trump.
Wow. This is a lot.
It is a lot.
I need a card, a playbook or something.
That's why you got me, baby.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
You're so good.
I'm here for you. All right, so let's go into old Van Jones here. Old Mr. Old Van Jones. This is what you've got to look at. You got to read this, how they're going through their comments that they're making. Van Jones says, "I'm nervous and worried about Kamala Harris's chance in Pennsylvania." So let's watch this little clip from CNN.
Jones and Scott Jennings. Morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
We almost
Was
made
this
it.
today?
Almost
Yes,
made
this
it.
is today.
But still time to, just kidding. Let's focus on Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris is hitting 5 cities, ending with a late night rally in Philadelphia tonight. When it comes to Pennsylvania, Van, what has you feeling good about Pennsylvania, and what is making you nervous about Pennsylvania?
Well, I'm just nervous all the time. So I don't feel good about nothing, and I'm not going to feel good about nothing until it's over.
Okay.
I'm worried. Philadelphia is where we've got to run up a big margin. But Philly overall has been trending down, not in terms of going toward the Republicans, just people not getting out to vote. And so you got people out there like Pastor Carl Day, who's got a bunch of young men with him, knocking on doors, trying to get people to come out. It's a bigger, tougher fight in Philly to get that vote count up than it has been in the past. That has me worried. The other thing that has me worried is that the Jewish vote in the suburban areas, Biden won the Jewish vote by 70%, 70-30 last time. Some polls show Kamala at 50-50. That is 70,000 votes we've bled away. That is the margin for victory. So you got groups like Zioness, Amanda Berman out there fighting to get the Jewish vote back on board. This is a tough
Trump campaign doing ads
and
to
the
try
Trump
to
campaign pushing the other direction. So this is it is door to door, bruised knuckles.
I can't think of that other guy that's the Republican. He destroys them all the time. He's one of the really only true Republicans they got on there. Look at the look at his face. He's just like, I don't have to say nothing. He's saying it all for me. He's just got this smirk on his face. Look at him.
Tired legs,
Love it.
a lot of coffee, and I'm nervous and worried, and I'm not going to be
Coffee
anyway until
and
this
worry.
thing gets called.
Okay, is there anything that is making you happy about Pennsylvania?
No, there's nothing making me happy about Pennsylvania. You got David Urban out there causing us trouble in the rural parts of the state.
All right, so the article goes on to say, he says, this is door-to-door, bruised knuckles, tired legs, lots of coffee. I'm nervous and worried. I'm not going to be this way until this thing is called. So when you start getting into the Van Joneses, they're just sort of
When you start
they're
almost
projecting.
raising the white flag before.
Yeah, they're projecting, and I think tomorrow. This is my prediction too. Sometime tomorrow they're going to start because they love those exit polls. They love to interview people when they're coming out, and they start doing these exit polls, which got them into big trouble in 2016.
Yes,
but they're still going to do it. And they're going. I think they're going to see if this is, and I put it in big quotations, if this is going to be a big night for Donald Trump. Pretty early on in the exit polls, they're going to get that. They're not going to want to say that, but they're going to get that. And here's what I predict: if it goes that direction, by 2-3 o'clock p.m. Central, if the exit polls are telling them this looks like a big night for Donald Trump,
right,
then it's going to move from really 100% talking about the election to start the blame game. Wow. They're going to start the blame game. They're going to start talking about how in the world did she lose? Why didn't she pick the governor of Pennsylvania? She could have won Pennsylvania. He's a Jew. They just started. They're going to start the blame game even before they ever call it.
Wow, you got all kind of predictions going on up in here.
Well, what's your prediction?
I don't know. It's been all over the board with people that I've been listening to and watching. I started feeling probably about February, March, that Trump was going to pull it off. I really did. And I still do. But this has been a roller coaster.
It has.
It has been a roller coaster. Crazy year. Woo!
Well, here's why they're concerned. The main reason that they're concerned is the early voting. In 2020, early voting became this thing that just blew up everywhere. Now in Alabama, I think we're one of only like 5 or 6 states that don't do early voting. We're so
It's very
far
interesting
behind.
to me.
There's like 70-something million people have already voted. Is that insane to y'all?
That is crazy to me.
So watch this. A former Obama aide says early voting numbers look scary for Kamala Harris. Early voting has become a nail-biter for Vice President Kamala Harris as she runs against former President Donald Trump in the race for the White House. Former Obama campaign manager Jim Messina said on Sunday, during an interview on MSNBC's Inside with Jen Psaki, I always want to say Psaki. Messina laid out what he said he is seeing in the numbers, and it is scaring him. So let's watch this right here.
Okay, what's their biggest concern right now if you're the Harris team?
Well, look, I think it's a couple things. The early vote numbers are a little scary, and you and I have been texting back and forth. Republicans didn't do what they did last time. Last time Trump said don't early vote, and so they didn't. Republicans do have an advantage in early vote numbers. When the early vote come in, it's going to look a little bit different than 2020, and that's scary.
Wow. So the number of early votes suggests Americans are highly motivated to cast their ballot before Election Day, which saves the Trump and Harris campaign times and money, the article read. In addition, a Gallup poll showed Thursday that over half of the American voters voted early and planned to do so prior to the Election Day. The news comes as Harris has leaned on rich Hollywood elites to tell citizens how to vote and who to vote for. So Kamala Harris has spent the final days of her presidential campaign doing much of what she's done throughout her campaign, relying heavily on Hollywood elites, surrounding herself with out-of-touch celebrities, and even ditching a planned appearance in the battleground state of Michigan to play herself opposite Maya Rudolph on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and by the way, the NBC got hit for an illegal election interference with that and had to give Trump a free ad during Sunday Night Football and during something else. I forgot what it was, some other sporting event.
Because this happened so close to the actual election.
Well, they're supposed to be equal opportunity, and they didn't even invite him. They didn't even invite him, so they had to give him free airtime during Sunday night NFL football. So that was amazing. But so on the early voting, what's going on with the early voting is that, Trump and, it's like, I'm an Alabama football fan, okay? And of course, Nick Saban, come on, enough said. That's all I can say, is the greatest of all time. And the second greatest, or maybe even tied for the greatest of all time, we had him too, Barry Bryant. So sorry, y'all. But Nick Saban, the thing about Nick Saban, what made him so great is he's old school. He was old school, run the ball, pound at the line. And then all of a sudden, the whole game changed. It went fast-paced. It was run and gun. And he didn't like it. And he got beat. He got beat by Texas A&M. He got beat twice by him. And people was like, is he washed up? No, what did he do? He said, okay, I'm not done yet, so I need to learn this. And I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's good for football. But if I'm going to be coaching football, this is how you're going to have to win now. So he changed Alabama. Alabama was a running football team. They became a passing football team, and they won multiple national championships. Trump is cut out of the same type of cloth. Last election, he didn't understand. Most Republicans, they were like, why we want to mail something in? We ain't wearing no mask. We ain't standing. We gonna stand in the line and vote. And guess what? They had a system in place to hinder that. And all these people banked these votes early on. Well, the Republicans learned, and I'm thankful that they've learned. And it looks like they are outpacing anything that the Democrats expected them to do. And so now in some states, some swing states, there's more Republicans that have voted in advance than Democrats. And then what Van Jones was talking about is that even in the states like Pennsylvania, where there's more Democrats early voting than Republicans, it's way down. The number that I saw earlier today was they first said we need 750,000 early votes in Pennsylvania. Well, the numbers started coming in today, and they realized that wasn't going to happen. So they backed it off and said, in order for us to win Pennsylvania, our minimum that we must have is 500,000. And as of tonight, and it
Yes.
cuts off tonight, it's still in the 400,000. So it's like they are panicking because they were counting on more people voting.
Do you think they could produce some votes from somewhere?
Algorithm. I did not say that algorithm. That was my wife.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody else was thinking that.
Of course they can, and we don't want any water lines breaking tomorrow night. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm thinking it's gonna be so much harder. I'm not saying they can't cheat, and did I say that? I mean, I say they can't alter the playing field.
Alterations, yeah.
Alterations. But let me just say this: I think we're a lot more awake than we were 4 years ago, and that's why they start trying to do some of that same stuff, and the lawyers were ready.
Not woke.
Yeah, exactly. Look
Right.
at that. Get your copy at LarryRagland.com.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sandy, you better put your seatbelt on tonight because I'm going there. I'm not playing tonight. I'm going there, and
The gloves coming off.
gloves coming. And here's the thing.
no
you a
holds barred.
preacher. Preacher's not supposed to be in politics. Well, hold on, because if you were mad at me now because I'm talking about politics, you're going to really be mad at me by the end of this program because I ain't playing because I got a mandate. Why ain't y'all smash the like button? Ain't hardly
what's
none,
up?
Ain't hardly none of y'all done smash the like button. What's up? What's up? We got 422 people watching right now. Oh, and by the way, this is a special edition. Some of you watching on Facebook. You don't normally ever get to watch Monday Night on Facebook. I decided to put this one on Facebook for tonight, just so you know about tomorrow night, because tomorrow night is the special edition election night coverage. It's going to start at 6 p.m. We got special guests, Joseph Z., Todd Coconato, Paul Begley. We got other guests. We're going to have in-studio guests, and we're going to have remote guests. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be an amazing and crazy night.
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
even understand how the logistics are supposed to work, but
I'm working on it. Just trust me. I'm
I'm
working on it.
happy to be a spectator. I mean, I am participating, but I'm also spectating.
And by the way, you look pretty. Everybody says your hair looks really pretty tonight.
Oh,
So, and they said my hair looked good too. What little bit I got left.
yeah.
I got it matted down just good, just right. States previously plagued by the BLM riots are readying National Guard in case of Election Day unrest.
Oh, boy.
So y'all remember those images, don't you?
Yes.
I'm about to show you a lot of images and video of what they are getting ready for. We have been talking about this on this program, Sandy, for a while.
Yes.
That this is what they plan on doing and what they planned on coming. Here we are. Several states, including some Democrat-run states plagued by the BLM and Antifa riots of 2020, have readied the National Guard in case violence breaks out on Election Day. Washington Democrat Governor Jay Inslee announced on Friday that he has activated some National Guard members to be on standby Monday to Thursday in case they need to assist law enforcement. Seattle, Washington was the home of the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, otherwise known as CHAZ. The far left established after the death of George Floyd. Inslee said the move is precautionary, but pointed to election-related unrest. So this right here is just sort of like a flashback, just to remind you of what our country looked like just a few years ago. Here's another one. This was in Portland.
Hold up. Group up right here. Group up right here. Group up right here.
You're a fucking Nazi terrorist, you piece of shit!
Group up. Shut up.
That was very disorganized.
Wow.
So that was
Language.
Yeah, well, we ain't even worried about it tonight because they're
Sorry.
gonna be language. But what I'm trying to say is let's remember this.
Yeah.
This was with Biden winning.
Yes.
This was not with Trump winning.
Yeah.
This was with Biden winning. So you understand that the forces that are in play that are funding this are anti-Trump. So what I'm trying to tell you, I'm not trying to scare you to death here, but I'm trying to tell you that there are things coming, and I think they anticipate a Trump victory, which means they are readying
I've
for
heard
something.
that the pallets of bricks have already been delivered to some cities. Yeah.
Wow.
What was the other city beside Chaz?
Well, it was,
they
it
made
was
up?
Portland, Seattle.
But the four-letter name, I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Started with P.
Let's see if it's up here.
Somebody out there will know what we're talking about. But yes, those were very grim days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just, watching the news was very depressing.
Yeah.
Very worrisome.
And y'all, that wasn't that long ago.
Well, not long ago.
That wasn't long ago. Now, what's happening right now? This is a guy that you first, somebody sent it to you, I think, and you put me on to him, Penguin 6.
I had seen him before.
Okay.
I hadn't followed him, but every once in a while he would pop up and I would watch him. But yeah, I told you about him the other day because of what was going on in Washington, D.C. And it wasn't just him.
Yeah.
Another person I watched was referencing Penguin 6 in their videos.
Okay.
And using some of his clips to show, hey, you need to be aware of what is happening in Washington, D.C.
So these are pictures that are X'd out from Penguin 6, and then we're going to watch a little video that he made. But this is current. This is not 2020. This is
right now.
This is what Washington, D.C. looks like right now. Let's go over to X so we can get a better image here. This is McDonald's. This is the McDonald's there that's near the White House. These are all the businesses right now.
Storefronts.
These are like high-end shops that are boarding up. They're still open, but they're boarding up and they're getting ready for what's coming. And I want to go to this. Let's see if I can find this video here. Let's see. This is the video from his channel, and I want you to follow him, give him credit. This is Penguin 6, is spelled out. But this was just a few days ago, October 28th, and he's updated something since then that I'll show you pictures of. But this is what he does. He just walks through Washington. He has a very nice camera. He's a part of the press corps, so he has access to some things, and he documents movement. And I want you to see, on October 28th, y'all, I don't know how many of you heard about this, but they did a mock evacuation by helicopters, black helicopters at the White House and the Capitol. I mean, literally simulating a riot that is so dangerous, we've got to get the people out by helicopter. And this was unannounced until the day of. Somebody just tweeted something out. Don't be alarmed. There's a practice going on. Just like that thing we did the last week. We were talking about they're going to practice the cyber attack against elections and all this on tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow is the event of it. So let's watch this.
Parents Weekend, and guess what? We have got helicopters coming to the U.S. Capitol. Probably Blackhawks, probably in the next 20 minutes or so. And I think they're going to land. Let's go check this out. It should be kind of cool. So over there you see all the fire trucks from the DC Foam Task Force. They're set up to cover.
This was in the middle of the night.
This was probably, I want to say he said 12 or 13 helicopters.
Y'all, and this, don't worry about anything, y'all. This is just a routine, just practice run on the week of the election.
Any arrival. They moved the ambulances over here too. I guess that's a sign we're going to have aircraft actually landing. I don't know if I can go over there. Okay, guys, we're at the Library of Congress. We're expecting 12 helicopters to come in flights of 4. This should be pretty cool. They're going to land right over there. 2 on the House side, 2 on the Senate. And then they're going to evac some people, and then another set of 4 will come in. Should be pretty neat.
To the northeast of you at 1,300. They're in zone 7 and zone 2.
I'm telling you, I don't know how many times we say on this show, this feels like a movie.
Yes.
This literally feels like we're watching an actual movie, but this is real life.
I mean, if we hadn't seen that movie, Civil War,
yeah,
this summer or whenever it was, however many months ago, that just makes this even more creepy.
Exactly.
First one's coming in. This is Eagle.
Look at this. Does this not look like a movie?
Having been to Washington, D.C., and been one of the, we were part of some of the last groups of people that were able to go into the White House.
That's true. We
that
went right
summer.
before 9/11.
We were there in July, I believe.
Yeah, we're in July.
Right.
2001.
2001. And, of course, we know what happened on September the 11th.
Yeah.
But walking all around and moving all around Washington, D.C., trying to see the monuments, trying to see, go into, you know, as many of the departments, the buildings as we could. I don't know. It's, weird.
Let's go back.
This must have been a sight to be on the ground watching this.
Yes.
Where's the back?
Y'all, I want to remind you, if you came in late just now, this was October 28th of this year, the week of election week. They decide to bring 12 black helicopters into the Capitol.
So this was basically a week ago.
A week ago on the other side of the fence to practice evacuating House and Senate, House representatives and senators and the White House in case of a major event. I mean, the optics of just this being this week,
right?
Even if this was on the books, which would have been stupid for somebody to put it on the books that week anyway, no matter who's running for president.
Oh boy!
I mean, wouldn't it make sense unless you're trying to really show you what they think is going to happen to put this off?
Okay, so knowing what they know, knowing what everybody should know, the level of tension between the two parties, basically everybody in the country feels the tension. Why would you do this now?
Why? Yes.
It just call more attention, make people more nervous. You know, this had to be, we look at each other and we think, they didn't think this through, but come on.
Yeah. Oh, they thought it through.
They thought it through.
That's the thing.
There's an agenda here.
There's an agenda.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish just a little bit more of this video because this is crazy, y'all. This is October 28th. Look, there's the Capitol. Wow. I mean, wow.
I really appreciate this man for his efforts because he's been getting after it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think not long after Biden, took the White House, he would drive by or walk by and note how dark it was, how it looked like there was nobody hardly in the city, how there were not as many cars, and the White House looked dark, like nobody was there. And he's doing a really good job.
He is. Well, let's continue. The Daily Mail is reporting America locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. White House is
Great choice of words.
Yeah. White House is barricaded, stores board up, and there's a chilling warning as election tensions grow. Americans are braced for civil unrest amid scary predictions of blood during Tuesday's knife-edge presidential election that appears to hinge on the results of just 7 swing states, reviving painful memories of recent assassination attempts and chaos of the 2020 vote. Businesses in Washington, D.C. were on Monday boarding up their windows as security fencing went up around the White House. U.S. Vice President Harris' residence and other key buildings in the Capitol. These are just showing some tensions that are going on, some more pictures of the boarding up. But what I want to show you is this next one. I want to show you this because this right here is one of the videos that he shows He goes close up to this. Y'all, this is the fencing that they just put up around the vice president's residence. What is it called? The Naval Observatory is where she lives.
I've heard it called Blair House as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not that far from the White House.
So let's just zoom in, y'all, in case you can't really see. And it ain't going to let me zoom in. It's just going to keep resizing it. Sorry, y'all. But there are, those little X's are basically razors. They're not, this is razors. Look, you can see a better picture of it right there.
Right.
Look at that.
Yes.
This is the fencing. So they have the regular fence that everybody always has to stand beside, and then inside that fence, they're installing, I believe it's I want to say it's a 12-foot. Let me see if I can find out. Maybe higher than that. 16 feet. So special spiked razor fencing is being erected around the White House in anticipation of Election Day, and of course the vice president's place as well. Some of it is 16 feet high. This is in addition to the businesses being boarded up. So I want to go back into this one again. Look at this. These are not just your wrought iron fence with the points on the top that could hurt you. These are basically knives.
Exactly.
What are they getting ready for, Sandy? What in
Exactly.
the world are
I
they
mean,
getting?
those are there to literally tear your flesh up.
Yes.
To tear you up. So who's going to attempt that? You would need someone to completely throw you over so you could miss it if you had any idea of trying to
And you can't
get
throw
over
somebody's
that wall.
16 feet wall.
No.
Somebody that's
So
16 feet tall.
This is a almost 100% deterrent. You probably could say 100% deterrent. That along with the boarding up. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? What are we getting ready for here?
And it's, let me tell you, I think that it is for protection from what they think might be coming, but I also think it might just be fear-mongering. I think it might just be stoking the fires for a false flag event that's coming.
It could be, because there's always agendas, right?
There's always
We may
agendas.
not understand them. We may not be able to decipher what's going on. And that makes me really mad because I always like to have the decode. But something's going on.
Well, it's like it's like, and when I show you this next article, they're already talking about the Proud Boys. They're already talking about all this. So
is there any angle, anything we're not pulling out for this one?
I don't think so.
Are we just going to pull every trick that we have out of the bag for this?
Yeah. Well. Look here. Let me show you this right here. This is what I was talking about. This is where they're already going. This is what they're already doing. This is I think from I forgot what magazine it was, but somebody says on Telegram, a violent preview of what may unfold on Election Day and after. Look what they're showing you pictures of, trying to take you back to J6.
Yes.
Groups backing for notice in this article, nothing is mentioned of Kamala supporters being violent in case Trump wins. Groups backing former President Donald J. Trump recently sent messages to organize poll watchers to be ready to dispute votes in Democratic areas. Some posted images of armed men standing up for their rights to recruit for their cause. Others spread conspiracy theories that anything less than a Trump victory on Tuesday would be a miscarriage of justice worthy of revolt. Quote, the day is fast approaching when fence sitting will no longer be possible, read one post from an Ohio chapter of the Proud Boys, the far-right organization that was instrumental in the J6 day. You will either stand with the resistance or take a knee and willingly accept the yoke of tyranny and oppression. So when you see this, and then you factor that back into this, it's almost like they're saying, we're going to make at least the look that somebody with a red hat on is going to do something really bad, and then we're going to have the right to go after all the red hat people.
Sure. How convenient, right?
I mean, what we call this, a false flag, a black swan event? I mean, what is this?
Well, again, I would love to know in advance. I mean, evil actors, bad actors are at work here.
Yeah.
It may be sometime tomorrow or maybe the day after before we can fully understand what they were doing, what they were trying to do. I hope that they're not successful with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I do too. But I think, man, you know, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And those things are not cheap. That's a lot of money they're being put into fencing right now, and the labor.
Absolutely.
Tax dollars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
You're paying for this.
Even when they just put the regular fencing around the White House and wherever they put it the last time, that too. That was a lot of work, a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this was interesting. And this goes back again. What I'm about to show you now goes back to the fact that I think they already know. I think the numbers have told them what's coming tomorrow night, and I think they've begun to spin it. They've begun to do whatever they can to still try to get the views, to get the ratings, to make it seem like it's really close.
I know you're trying to decipher and figure out what these angles are. Okay, they are fearful or they just already know that Trump's going to win.
Yeah.
So we're going to create diversions. We're going to create false flag events. We're going to create this big stink to make the Republicans look bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I wish we had more advanced knowledge of what's at hand.
Have y'all smashed the like button?
Yeah. What are you waiting on?
What are you waiting on? Smash it, smash it, smash it. Show some love. Y'all don't cost anything. It's free.
That's right.
It's free. For every, you smash one like button, it's free. Smash two, it's free. No, wait a minute. I messed up. Don't smash it again. If you smash it again, you unsmash it. Smash it one time. Show gently, love it. Smash it one time, walk away. Walk away.
Information stations. She had a situation at her job where somebody said, you ready for all the mayhem that's going to happen in a few days?
Well, this is what I mean by I think that they know what's coming. Y'all, why would you let this get out? First, we thought this was AI. Sandy and I was watching this last night, and come find out somebody leaked it. And it actually happened.
Okay, is this what we got onto from BP?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, this is interesting.
So there was a leaked mainstream media election night mock-up show that shows Kamala Harris losing the election in swing states. Leaked MSM mainstream media mock-up footage of election night, quote, reported to use Harris internal polling. Of course, Harris have said they did not give them that. Shows Trump leading in Pennsylvania by a small margin, winning in Michigan, winning in North Carolina, winning in Georgia, and in Arizona in strong margins. It shows Harris leading in Virginia by an unexpected tight margin. It shows Republicans leading in the Senate race 49-44 with 7 uncalled. It also shows Trump winning in Michigan and Wisconsin both. This footage is from last week. It looks like the internal polling isn't looking great for Kamala. I wonder why the mainstream media is hiding the truth.
This is on NBC News. You're going to start. Can you play this from?
I'm going to play it. This is, and I'm going to play most of it. It's about 3.5 minutes. I may not play all of it, but I don't know who this guy is. Like he's a producer or something. He's just in a. I've never seen him before. Of course, I don't watch NBC, but y'all, this is them going through with their regular anchors, practicing Trump winning, and they leaked this out. This really happened. Okay, this really happened.
Almost every election since 1988. Right now, it looks like there's a big crack. Michigan.
And I cannot make it any louder because this is somebody filming with their phone of a screen. So, it is what it is. I got it wide open.
Right here, this is really big for Donald Trump. Saginaw, Michigan. It's an area that, we have a very easy comparison. Back in 2020, Joe Biden won it. This time it's Donald Trump. And if he does that in Michigan, it's a really good sign for him. And, we're still early in the night, but when we go back to see path to 270, here's where we are live right now. Kamala Harris only has a couple of ways to get there. Not surprise you, Pennsylvania is top of the list for her.
Well, I was going to say, can you play that out for us? What can we do a what-if scenario right now? So what if Harris were to take Pennsylvania 2 out of the 3?
And look, the running scrolls at the bottom, projected winners, I mean, they're with percentages, with vote amounts. I mean, I know that all this is not exact, but y'all, they're running with some pretty crazy numbers, like they're simulating something real.
Exactly. I guess the producer was saying, thank God for ChatGPT, working that up for us.
Yeah.
But what an effort is what we're trying to say here.
Well, let's watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
What else does she need? So if she takes Pennsylvania, that puts her at 219 electoral votes in here. I'm going to put the numbers for folks at home.
Projected winner Donald Trump. I bet that hurt, right?
What's Iowa? That's Iowa.
Still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're. Wait a minute. Let's play it. Let's play it, and then we'll comment on it.
Expected to call this much earlier tonight. Let's assume that goes to her. Minnesota as well. It's gotten Democratic for nearly 50 years now. Then it's a toss-up. We got 4 states, Sun Belt here. You know, they've both done a lot of events here. We'll give New Mexico. That's also one we expect to go to Harris, but comes down to North Carolina, comes down to Georgia, Arizona. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, she's short. She's at 247. You got to get to 270 to win it all. All right, Chuck, thank you so much.
Now watch this. This is one of their mainstream anchors, and look how, you know what this does for me too. This shows me just how you cannot believe them, how flippantly natural they are, like they are really live. You would never be able to know that they're faking it. So when they're on their regular show, they're faking it. They're just reading the numbers. So watch this. They're actually simulating like they are live tomorrow night.
Ryan, you cover Capitol Hill regularly. It's your Monday through Friday beat. Thank you for being here with us, by the way, on the graveyard shift. We appreciate it. Although I think there's still a lot of people out there watching. This is so tight in the presidential race. How could that?
Wow, she's so
believable.
Let's pop the Senate back up again if we can. Right now at this hour, I think we said that Republicans have had a net gain of 1. Right. Not quite enough, but we're still waiting for some races.
And you know, Kate, when we talk about the balance
Look
of
at
power
these.
in Congress,
Look at the graphics. Look at everything.
right? The presidential race, the balance of power in the Senate, the balance of power in the House of Representatives. What we thought would play out in the Senate was the easiest to predict, just because of the map that we stand in the race for president. Let's take a look at the all-important battleground states that we've been watching all night, and we are going to begin in Pennsylvania. And that's when we see a race that is too early to call. Right now, Donald Trump has a slight edge over Kamala Harris.
Man,
But it is
this is great. This is great.
This was last week. Within the last week, and this was a leaked footage. So here's my thing: if NBC's doing this, every one of them's doing it.
Probably.
They're all doing it. Let's see. Wait a minute. What in the world? Of all times you're going to ask me that? Everybody, hold on. Got something going on here with my computer. All right, here we go.
Can handle something.
Okay, you devil, you a liar.
Handle it.
So let's finish this up, and then I want to get your true opinion on what you think's going on.
North Carolina. This race is too close to call. Donald Trump with the edge. About 264,000 votes ahead. 264,000 votes ahead of Kamala Harris.
All right, so we're not going to play the rest. All right, so Sandy, this is what this little clip goes on to assume, and it's supposed to be a trial run. This assumes that Donald Trump is having a good night, and they're sort of trying to process how in the world can she get back in this thing? Where is her path to victory? It's becoming more difficult by the moment, and this was a practice run and was leaked out.
Well, for starters, I have to say this is very impressive, the links that they go to. I don't know if this is the first time they've done this or if this is just their norm and their usual, but wow. And big thanks to whoever leaked this out.
Yeah, because now we know.
I've really enjoyed watching it. Maybe they are really worried.
Yeah.
Maybe they're really, really concerned, like really scared. If they were trying to throw us off the scent, this was a big effort to do that, and I don't think that they would go to that much trouble. So are we going to see some crying and some crocodile tears?
Oh yeah,
and some meltdowns.
You remember that? Remember that when he got sworn in on January 20th, and that one woman becomes so iconic, she was like, screaming. She had that green vest on. She's become a meme now. Wonder what's happened to her. But when we come back, we're going to take a 30-second break. When we come back, I want to tell you, this is an utter crying shame, y'all. That's what we say down here in the South. This is a crying shame. J6 prisoners who have been in, some of them 3.5 years now, without being charged, some in solitary confinement, are now being denied the right to vote. They're being told they can't vote while other former felons are being able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to tell you about that in 30 seconds.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Wow, and breaking news, Tabby has been very trustworthy. She has good connections. Joe Rogan has just endorsed Trump. He has never endorsed a political candidate, and he is a lifelong liberal Democrat.
Oh, my goodness.
He has just endorsed
Okey-doke.
Donald Trump. Now, I'm going by Tabby's words right there. Tabby, like I said, she has been very, very good in her sources, and I'm sure that she can source that out. And but that's just breaking right now, live on the air, y'all. That's. Let me tell you, he carries a lot of weight.
Yes, he does.
He carries a lot of weight.
And to come out this late and to make this, I'm just sitting here processing this.
I'm gonna just see if I can find that and fire.
Okay, we can do like they did in, was it Watergate? We're going to trust but verify. Who said that? Dun, dun, dun.
This is on you. You better be talking.
Drum roll, please.
No, baby, you got to keep the show going.
I am.
I'm
reading some of this chat.
Well, people don't know that. They don't know that.
Just saw that from Charlie Kirk. Okay.
Okay, somebody's fact checking.
We'll see.
Joe Rogan hasn't said that he's voting for Donald Trump. The people are fact checking that.
Okay.
Let's see. Joe Rogan hasn't said as of November 3rd who he's voting for. Fact check. People trying to fact check saying that that's not true. Let's look at Charlie Kirk here.
It was on Charlie Kirk's Telegram.
All right, so I'm going to go on Charlie Kirk's X. Y'all stay with us. Let's see here. You are supposed to be running the show right now.
I'm reading chat to see if anybody else has any more information, because this is potentially ground shaking, right? My goodness. What will Rogan's endorsement do? Well, you would think it would do, make an impact, make a difference.
Okay.
But I don't know. It seems like if he was going to do that, he would have already done it. So I don't know.
All right, so let's see.
Seemed like he had an opportunity to come out and do that about a week ago, and he did not make an endorsement at that time. Thank you for that super sticker, Tamika.
All right, so here's what we got. I'm not going to read it because it's got some typical Joe Rogan language in it, but this is from Joe Rogan's actual X account.
Okay, here we go. Let's see.
He's interviewing the great and powerful Elon Musk. If it wasn't for him, we'd be beep. He makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, and I agree with him every step of the way. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump. Enjoy the podcast. So he's talking about go watch my interview with Elon Musk, and he is endorsing all these people who are excited. The squirrels are excited, and if you don't know what that's about, do you know what that's about? It's incredible. It's crazy. A man in New York had a pet squirrel, and the people of New York went in and took it from him and killed it. They euthanized. They said that it was against the law for him to have a squirrel. That's him. And
they went in. Wait a minute. I did see this guy yesterday.
They took his squirrel.
They went into his home and
euthanized the squirrel.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Squirrels for Trump.
Is that a second super sticker from?
Let me see.
Tamika, go up.
Oh, we had three of them. We got so excited. Mr. Q, Tamika.
Sorry, we missed you.
Two
Mr.
from
Q.
Tamika, one from Mr.
This
Q.
is amazing.
Thank you so much, y'all.
Very much.
We've been so excited. We
awesome.
missed it. Sorry about that.
Nice. This is terrible, though.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you didn't know about the squirrel?
I missed that. I actually saw the guy yesterday, but I didn't get the the story that that's what had happened.
Yeah, it's everywhere now, y'all. And this is, sometimes you can't trust initial reactions, but Benny Johnson all of a sudden breaking, Joe Rogan endorses Trump. Now, look, I'm not a huge giant fan of Joe Rogan. I'm just talking about the magnitude.
Exactly.
The following of that on the eve of the election.
Right.
I mean, that's big.
Yes.
That's big on the eve of the election.
Yes, the reach of his podcast and the night before election day. What? I don't know what time this came out, but
Zane said they didn't just take the squirrel. They did it because of another influencer who was jealous. I can't get it all up there. Who was jealous in the views they were getting, so they called the state of New York on him. Wow. That's just stupid. That's evil.
Yeah.
Talk about evil.
Exactly.
Talk about evil. Look at this. Look at this here from the Gateway Pundit. Yeah. January 6 prisoners are being denied their right to vote while career criminals are casting ballots. Yeah. In an appalling move of tyranny, political prisoners from J6 locked up in Washington, D.C. jail for nearly 4 years are being denied the right to vote in the upcoming 24 election. Even as other inmates, including career criminals, carjackers, thugs, and violent repeat offenders, are escorted early to voting stations. These American heroes are being cruelly blocked for exercising their fundamental right. I'm just reading the article. Yeah. As the rest of the jail population see their voices counted in this critical election, these patriots are left without representation. So this person has an exclusive statement from inside the jail, and this is the guy here that called in. His name is Jake Lane. He called in and said the Washington, D.C. jail is refusing to allow me and the rest of the prisoners here to vote. Today was the last day for provisional ballots and voting for federal inmates, and the D.C. jail officials have refused to take us to the voting area. Man. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I mean, if you're going to let other criminals vote,
right,
and you're going to let people that hadn't even been charged yet not vote?
Not even charged. Solitary confinement. I don't know what number it is that how many of them are in solitary, but my goodness, you've got these not even charged. It's all crazy and ridiculous.
Oh, the BGTV saying, love the new studio. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
BGTV.
I got to shrink this down, y'all. I don't know what's going on with my comments here. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. Democrats unveil dark, diabolical plans to prevent Trump from retaking the White House, even if he wins. The quote from one of the House of Representatives, Jamie Raskin, says, "We will need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions." This is what they're preparing for, y'all. With the results from the 2024 presidential election now imminent, Democrats have been vocal in their plans to subvert the will of the American people and prevent former President Donald Trump from retaking the White House if he pulls out a win over his Democratic rival, Vice President Kamala Harris. In a February opinion piece by Russell Berman published in The Atlantic, it details how the Democrats could try to disqualify Trump if the United States Supreme Court didn't declare Trump ineligible to run for president. The 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution bars anyone who has, quote, engaged in insurrection against the United States. Those found guilty of such act are unable to run for civil, military, or elected office without first gaining the approval of at least 2/3 of the House and Senate. Berman states that during the end of the Supreme Court arguments concerning Trump's exclusion from the Colorado ballot as an insurrectionist, Attorney Jason Murray, who represented Colorado voters, told the justices that they would have another J6 situation on their hands if they refused to disqualify Trump. Murray told Berman the decision would, quote, come back with a vengeance when Congress meets to count and certify the Electoral College. According to Murray, a Trump win would cause, quote, a constitutional crisis in Congress where Democrats would have to choose whether they confirm someone they believe is ineligible or defy the will of the people. Democrats have a serious chance of winning a majority in Congress in November, even if Trump recaptures the presidency in the same day. If that happens, they could have the votes to prevent him from taking office. However, despite House Democrats and a handful of Republicans attempting to impeach him in 2021 and inciting insurrection, Trump has never been convicted of insurrection in a court of law, nor has he ever been indicted on an insurrection charge. U.S. Representative Jamie Raskin, Democrat from Maryland, said the Supreme Court is refusing to do its job by pretending Section 3 of the 14th Amendment doesn't exist, and the justices' refusal to interpret the meaning of the amendment will lead to civil war. This is what he said. A great example going on right now before our very eyes is that they're just disappearing with a magic wand as if it doesn't exist. So you know they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. Then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions. Literally calling for civil war.
Yeah. Just trying to gin this thing up and woof.
Wow.
Exactly. That's some predictive programming right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow, tomorrow can't get here fast enough.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of tomorrow, where you going to be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Central? I know where you're going to be.
Yeah.
You're going to be right here at the Big Picture Live, first ever live election night coverage, y'all. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. minimum. If it's going crazy, look, there ain't no way I'm going off the air if they're like, we're almost ready to call this thing. I'm going to just get me another cup of coffee and I'm going to stay here for the duration. Wouldn't it be something if we were able to call the election right here on the air? Who knows?
Would be
Nobody's
pretty amazing.
Yeah, nobody's thinking that's going to happen.
Pretty
but
sweet.
Do you remember what you said last week when we were talking about the god of Moloch and all the things that they're everywhere they go, all they want to talk about is abortion?
Exactly.
And you said
that's the hill they chose to die on.
That's the hill they chose to die on. The hill of Moloch, the hill that they chose to die on. Y'all, this really is all that they're, and they keep saying the women vote is just, major gap, gender gap, because the women are voting for her on record numbers. And they say the number one reason is worshiping Moloch and children. And the crazy thing is there's people doing videos that are saying, why are you voting? Because I want my daughter to be able to have an abortion if she needs to. Do you understand what you're saying is I want my grandbaby to be unalived, and I want her to have the right to unalive my grandbaby. These people are sick. And watch what happened this weekend. Over the weekend, women descended, and one of the guys we were talking about earlier, Penguin 6, one of the videos he's talking about, he said there's a women's march going on the other side of town right now. It was this march. Okay. It says over the weekend, women descended on D.C. to bang ritual drums for abortion. Over the weekend, the 2024 Women's March occurred in D.C. in support of unlimited unaliving situations. The march featured a feminist drumline called Batala, banging the drums in support of Moloch. This is a parade for abortion. This isn't ritualistic.
It is. I'm glad you said it. I was about to say it.
This is ritualistic.
This is like performing a ritual. Yeah.
It is. This is like going before Moloch and playing music for Moloch.
There you go.
Look how happy they are.
Oh yeah, having the time of their life. This is biblical in a sense that you can think of some stories in the Old Testament where, well, let's just talk about one when Moses went up on the mountain to receive basically the 10 Commandments, and everybody went crazy down below.
Oh, yeah.
And just, all the things that went on, the rituals, I don't even want to go into the other part, but, just craziness and basically creating an atmosphere for the devil to just
Yeah,
have a play day, just go to town.
But this one person here says this, quoted 1 Kings 18:26. Then they called upon the name of Baal that morning until noontime, shouting, "O Baal, answer us." But there was no reply of any kind. Then they danced, hopping around the altar that they had made.
Yep. These are exactly the kind of images that are coming in my mind. And again, I don't want to say that, but this is just a precursor.
Well, let's just go ahead and get flagged tonight. Let's just go out there and get flagged. Because here's the thing. I did a Bible study not long ago on a Wednesday night. Go back and watch it, about the god of Moloch. And one of the things that they did when they brought their babies to the god of Moloch, that had their hand, this god called Moloch, little g by the way, hands out like this with a fire underneath it. They would wait for that fire to get so hot that his hands would turn red, and then they would take their babies and put them in, and the babies would scream. And you know what they would do? It's worth remembering that the ancient Canaanites used drums to drown out the babies' screams when being sacrificed to Moloch.
Wow. Oh my goodness. You're so right. You're so right. And what did we just witness?
Exactly. What did we just witness?
My goodness.
One more time. Knowing that the Canaanites used drums to drown out the cries of the babies.
Yeah.
One more time to let you know what's at stake tomorrow.
Yeah. Turn it up. Turn it up. Yeah.
Come on. Why ain't it playing? It's about to. It's about to. Come on.
Yeah.
They're trying to stop it.
How about
that? Look how excited they are.
Exactly.
And before you think that this is just women marching and dancing for women's right to vote or women's right to work and get equal pay, every single sign that is around them is about abortion. They are praising abortion.
Right. This is the reason for the event. And even though some of these women may not fully understand what this is, what they're doing, someone who's in charge certainly does. And they understand, the meaning of the drums and all of this.
Yeah. They know exactly. Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
And certainly the demons that are influencing them knows it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Y'all, that's what's at stake. So now how about this? This is just a random thing that came up today. Major web, there's a site that's called Archive, and you can basically go to the archive of almost every website is archived. And guess what? There's a major web archive attacked pre-election coincidence. It says, I may be forgiven, I hope, for raising an eyebrow at the curious timing of the large-scale assault of the most prolific and relied upon web archiving service, archive.org. I use it a lot. Offers a running public record of who said what and when. As an instrument of journalism, web archives can be employed to easily suss out how present narratives and stories presented in corporate media or anywhere may conflict with past narratives. In other words, the ultimate check on historical revisionism of the kind that powerful actors engage in regularly. So it says here, tweets out, the servicearchive.org, which has been around since 1994, has stopped taking images of content on all platforms for the first time in 30 years. We have gone a long swath of time since October 8th to the 10th, since the service has chronicled the life of the internet in real time. As of this writing, we have no way to verify content that has been posted for 3 weeks of October, leading to the days of the most contentious and consequential election of our lifetimes. In effect, the whole memory of our main information system is just a big black hole right now.
What in the world?
Yeah, nobody's talking about this. The trouble on Archive began on October 8th when the service was suddenly hit with a massive denial of service attack, DDoS, that not only took down the service, but introduced a level of failure that nearly took it out completely. In other words, the only source of the entire World Wide Web that mirrors content in real time has now been disabled. Wow. For the first time since the invention of the web browser itself, researchers have been robbed of the ability to compare past and future content. Wow. An action that is staple of researchers looking into the government and corporate actions. What this means is the following. Any website can post anything today and take it down tomorrow and leave no record of what they posted. Unless some user somewhere happened to take a screenshot, even then there is no way to verify its authenticity.
Oh my goodness.
The standard approach to know who said what and when is now gone. That is to say that the whole internet is already being censored in real time, so that during these crucial weeks when vast swaths of public fully expect foul play, anyone in the information industry can get away with anything and not get caught.
My goodness. This is
why you come to the big picture. This is why you come to the big picture. We tell you things here that you're not going to hear anywhere else.
Okay.
That's insane.
My head is, I'm reeling right now.
Y'all, this been going on for 3 weeks. For 3 weeks. I use archive.org all the time.
So what are these network news, these news channels? What are they doing? I mean, how do they have their own? Do they have things saved?
They have their own backup thing.
On their own.
No, this is not this. Listen, archive.org is not a branch of the media. It is a nonprofit that holds them accountable. That like for instance, this is how you can do it. You can go to archive.org and you can put in, not everybody, but all the big guys use it. Like you find an article on CNN, or you find an article on New York Times or something like that.
Right.
You can type that in archive.org and it will bring up a screenshot, a little thumbnail of every revision of that article. From the oldest to the newest. So like you'll have an article that you'll see on the New York Times and you'll go to archive.org and there'll be 10 versions of it that they had to update when they got new information. So you can go back and track every version of that.
Sure.
But when archive.org is gone,
yeah.
how are you going to do that?
Exactly.
Y'all, this is what the World Economic Forum was trying to tell us. The number one threat against humanity is misinformation and disinformation.
Exactly.
They started trying to tell us this in January.
Yes.
That they were going to do this.
Yes, they certainly did. And we couldn't have imagined, right?
No.
This move and many others that have happened and probably will happen. Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine something being put out at the last minute tomorrow that is a blatant lie to move the election, and then you got to go back and cover it, and it's gone. And it's been wiped, and they're like, "What are you talking about? That's not exactly what we said. This is what we said." That's what this is. This is about taking away accountability. Yeah. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you what it means. Let me tell you what it means. And anything's possible. Don't you take it for granted. Go vote tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what it means. It means they know. They know it's not even close. It's not supposed to be close. It may end up being close because of some of the things they do. But I'm telling you right now, their numbers are telling them we've got to do everything we can do to start now in the post loss, because they're going to lose. They're going to lose.
Yes.
If he wins the popular vote and the electoral vote, and he wins the Senate and he wins the House, they're going to lose their mind.
Yeah.
They're going. We need to plead the blood of Jesus over their life, because they're going to come after them like never before.
We've already seen James Carville talking crazier than he's ever been talking.
Yeah.
And this has been several weeks back.
He called for civil war. He called to take up arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
James Carville called to take up arms. Oh, and by the way, you can't find the article because don't exist anymore, probably.
How convenient.
Unless somebody screenshot it. But you're talking about what's going to happen to what's attempted.
By the way, I don't know if we said this several minutes ago when we were talking about Rogan, but Fox News 7 minutes ago has come out and said he reveals his pick for president. So that's on Fox News, supposedly.
Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Okay.
This was an alert on my phone. It says Joe Rogan reveals his pick for president. So.
Okay. All right. So now across the ocean in the war in Ukraine, look at this. Top Putin aide comes out today and says Trump, quote, may share the fate of JFK if he tries to end the Ukraine war.
I did not read that, but I did see it several hours ago.
So Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chair of the Russian Security Council and former president of the Russian Federation, said on Sunday that Donald Trump might, quote, share the fate of John F. Kennedy if he tries to stop the Ukraine war after winning Tuesday's election. We have no reason to expect too much. The election won't change anything for Russia because the candidates' positions fully reflect a bipartisan consensus on the need to defeat our country, in a post on Telegram. This is why the best way to make the day for the candidates for the highest office on November 5th is to continue crushing the Nazi Kiev regime. And, of course, Vladimir Putin has claimed that Ukraine is under the control of a neo-Nazi dictatorship. One of the reasons he launched the brutal invasion into Ukraine to denazify the country is what he said. Russia often points to the blah, 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 but a tired Trump issuing platitudes like I'll offer a deal or I have a great relationship with will also be forced to follow all the system's rules. He won't be able to stop the war, not in a day, not in 3 days, not in 3 months. If he really tries to, he may share the fate of John F. Kennedy. Well, we all know what the fate of John F. Kennedy was.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, come on. Certainly, we've thought that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Considering what we've already seen just in the last couple of months, surely many people have thought that, but got to move forward. Okay?
Yeah.
Fully committed now, right?
Fully committed.
We're all up in this.
And if you're watching tonight, this is a special edition. If you're watching tonight on Facebook, let me tell you something. Monday nights are usually never on Facebook. And I don't even know if it survived being on Facebook. But if it is on Facebook and you watch on Facebook, then you need to know that go over to YouTube tonight, go over to Rumble, subscribe there, because that's where Monday nights are always. Facebook is not the place to find this on Monday night. So make sure that you do what you got to do. Now, we've talked about, and I've said that I believe that World War III has already begun. And this article here says World War III, Pentagon gives green light to use American weapons to attack North Korean soldiers. The United States Department of Defense has essentially made it clear that Ukraine is allowed to use gifted weapons to strike North Korean soldiers if they are seen to be aiding Russia on the front lines. Now, this next article says that JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says World War III has already begun.
When did this article come out?
This came out 7 days ago. Jamie Dimon typically pays close attention to the workings of financial markets and the Federal Reserve, but today his most important concern is geopolitics. The economic outlook is teeny compared to the geopolitical situation we face, he told an audience Thursday at the Institutional of International Finance's annual meeting in Washington, D.C. He lamented the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East and the growing cooperation between U.S. adversaries, including Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran. Quote, they are clearly talking about dismantling the system set in place by the United States and its allies after World War II, which Dimon credits as spawning an era of unprecedented global economic growth. Quote, the risk is extraordinary. World War III has already begun. You already have battles on the ground being coordinated in multiple countries. He said that risk management teams at his bank have run scenarios that will shock you in terms of the possible economic implications.
Risk management teams at his bank.
His bank
have run scenarios
that will shock you in terms of the possible economic implications of a global conflict that spirals out of control. That's one reason why JP Morgan Chase and Company chief executive said Thursday that nuclear proliferation is, quote, the biggest risk mankind faces, even ahead of climate change. The leader of the world's largest bank is a registered Democrat, but has long had fans in both parties, one who respects the business-friendly politics and reputation of competence. Dimon has floated as a potential candidate for Treasury Secretary for both parties, blah, blah, blah. So here we have one of the most influential financial voices in the world saying we have run the scenarios.
Yeah.
We can see major financial collapse coming because World War III is not coming. It has already begun, and we have said that on this program.
Yes.
We have said it multiple times that World War III will not look like World War I and II. It's not going to be just soldiers on the ground, which it will eventually be that, but it's cyber, it's economic, it's digital. And it is actual people in war as well, because we have multiple wars on multiple continents.
Right.
So World War III has begun.
Wow. Well, he joins the group of people who've been saying that for a while, but his voice may hold a little more weight, and his opinions may hold a little more weight than others. But yeah, that didn't go unnoticed.
No, it did not. Wow, good crowd tonight watching. The people are very, very interested in what's going on in the world, Sandy.
Well, those are some smart people.
Some very smart people.
Yeah.
And I think if you're new to our show, we want to welcome you to the Big Picture
Yes.
family. Got a bunch of new people on here tonight. Smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel. Ukraine is now saying they need 500,000 more troops amid slowing mobilization, senior lawmaker says. Roman Kostinko, Secretary of the Parliamentary Defense Committee, stated on November 2nd that it is in his view that it is necessary to mobilize 500,000 citizens given current battlefield conditions. Speaking on this TV channel, he noted that mobilization rates dropped in September after an initially steady pace following the mobilization strengthening law in April. That means the draft. That's a fancy word for draft. While the goal had been to draft 200,000, Kostinko believes this falls short, aligning with former Commander-in-Chief Valery Zelensky's earlier recommendation for 500,000 recruits. Goes on to say Vladimir Zelensky acknowledged in 23 the military's proposal for large-scale mobilization, estimating it would cost Ukraine 500 billion Harvanas, whatever that is. I guess that's their currency.
Yeah, I'd like to know how that compares to the dollar.
Yeah, me too. Currently, plans are set to mobilize an additional 160,000 men, adding to the 1.05 million already serving. Ukraine has been struggling to mobilize enough soldiers for the front line to compensate for troop
I'll
casualties.
bet they have.
Yeah.
We were talking months ago about them scooping people off the street.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're telling me they must have 500,000 more?
More. And right now there's 1,500,000 that's serving right now.
Sure.
Wow.
Well, I'd be really concerned too if I was feeling the heat of all these North Koreans coming in.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
They're not worn out. They're all fresh, ready to hit the battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. And they're probably excited to get out of North Korea.
Probably
even if it's
too.
a war.
While these Ukrainian soldiers are running on fumes.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if you started hearing about some North Korean soldiers defecting, maybe even over into Ukraine, surrendering and going over to Ukraine so they can get out of North Korea. I mean, I would.
Very good point, by the way.
I wouldn't be surprised if you started hearing that. But what about our own military? Well, we talked about that we have multiple people, that sources within the military telling us that they're making plans for us to fight China. Hadn't happened on the timeline that they told us. They said it was going to happen this year, and it may still happen this year. But they are saying that they also ran scenarios of drafting, that we don't have enough people, that we would lose too many lives.
Yeah.
Well, guess what comes out today? Just 2 days ago, the Pentagon has now dropped 51 disqualifying medical conditions in order to meet recruitment goals.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot more than I would have expected. I mean, we knew they were going to adjust some things so that they could meet these goals, but 51 medical conditions?
Formerly disqualifying medical conditions in order to serve in the military has now been dropped. The Department of Defense has expanded the list of medical conditions that no longer disqualify people from enlisting in the military. More than 6,000 people have enlisted through a pilot program requirements, which allows recruits to enter basic training with previously disqualified medical conditions. With the program began in 22, it included 38 conditions, but was expanded earlier this year to 51. The program changes further ease restrictions on previous including conditions such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or ADHD. Each of the conditions listed are qualified a candidate unless the military granted a waiver to allow enlistment. It goes on to say the program outlines receiving treatments, showing symptoms for their medical condition, medical ailments included and related to the eyes, orthopedics, hearing impairments, and the digestive tract.
That's everybody.
That's everybody. Yeah. And, you know, Sandy, I want to remind you that I had a meeting with a person whose family member is in the military, and they told him, and he told me off the record, I will not reveal who it is, that his person that he knew was in a military meeting, a recruitment meeting, that was saying that they were about to do this. This was this past summer. We heard about that they were going to start dropping things like if you do not even have full use of your arm, to extend your arm, flat foot, different kinds of things that you would normally never think somebody would be in battle. They're so desperate, they're waiving that. So now we're seeing it being actually publicized, what we were told was coming. Now, we're going to close. We're not closing now. Don't go anywhere because we still got Uncle Jimmy coming in right now. But we're going to end the program tonight on the eve of the election. I'm going to share my heart with the Big Picture family about what I believe is really going to happen tomorrow and what is going on tomorrow in the natural and in the spirit realm. But right now, I think it's time for Uncle Jimmy! Jimmy! Woo! Where you at, Jimmy? Where you at? Uncle Jimmy! It's the Supernatural AI Update! Dun, 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 dun. Is Cosmo around? Because this is going to be a short segment.
He's been a little shy tonight.
He's been a little shy? Okay, well, maybe he'll come out.
Yeah. He's got some anxiety about the election.
Try
to assure him it's going to work out. It's going to be okay.
For our new Big Picture viewers tonight that stumbled across our program tonight, this is a regular segment called the Supernatural AI Update, where Uncle Jimmy is in that intro. He's the alien guy. But full disclosure, he's not really my uncle, just so you know. We don't really look that much alike, I don't think. I mean, what do you think? You better watch yourself. Watch yourself now. But this is where we talk about AI, supernatural, UFOs, aliens, demons, robots taking over the world.
All that creepy stuff.
Terminator. The leading company that is making the AI chips, NVIDIA, their executive says that, quote, AI will acquire a human form. Will acquire. And I'm going to read it again. AI will acquire. Not that someone will add AI to a robot. AI will acquire, meaning they will do it, a human form, and will be integrated into everything.
This is super creepy.
The machine is to the body what AI is to the brain. Quote, in the near future, everything that moves, now listen closely to the words here. Everything that moves or that monitors things that move will be autonomous robotic systems. These systems will be capable of sensing and responding to their environments, the company says. Top executive at NVIDIA Corporation, a world leader in artificial intelligence, computing, and chip making, says AI will soon take on a human form, speaking to just how rapidly AI is advancing and will become a greater part of people's everyday lives. Vice President of World View Operations at NVIDIA gave his thoughts during the Global Management Dialogue Forum organized by Nikkei and Swiss Business School, IMD. Quote, the machine is to the body what AI is to the brain, Osaki said. Speaking on the difficulty of cultivating machines such as actuators, motors, and control systems that can run smoothly with AI, Osaki added, quote, Japan can make a big contribution by developing technologies for combining AI and manufacturing. Why? Why Japan? Why are you making a contribution? Stop it.
Because they've always been out in the front when it comes to robots and now robotics and all these autonomous whatevers.
So he goes on to say, in the days leading up to the forum, NVIDIA declared that the next wave of AI is physical AI. The era of physical AI is here, transforming the world's heavy industries and robotics. Join the world's leading companies and get started with NVIDIA robots right now. Physical AI models can perceive, understand, interact, and navigate the physical world with generative AI. The new frontier of AI manifests itself through the embodiment of physical systems that go beyond the traditional AMR robot arm and humanoid robots and instead include everything from street lights to data centers, healthcare facilities, and manufacturing plants.
Well, in one sense, that's not too hard for us to imagine because you talked last week or the week before about going into the store or going into, was it also a fast food restaurant?
Yes.
Where there were zero human employees.
Zero human employees.
Now this is on a much smaller scale. When you talk about, a large factory or maybe a small hospital, it's a lot harder for me to grasp that. But I know we're either going to be there or we're going to be close to something that looks like that. Creepy.
All right. So because of tonight being a special eve of such a consequential election, we're going to go right back to the election, and I'm going to show you some rapid fire things that are being said right now in real time on X that I think you need to pay close attention to. Most of you know Michael Flynn. He says, if you waited until tomorrow to vote, go vote early in the morning.
Okay.
Do not go after work, as many will. Lines are going to be way too long. If you have to use a sick day tomorrow, use it.
Wow.
What he's trying to say is they are counting on you, trying to get in line,
okay,
and they are going to cause chaos for those that are in line. Are y'all hearing me? They know something big is coming. In my opinion, for Joe Rogan, and for all intents and purposes, we are seeing that he has now, on the eve of the election, done something, probably the most powerful podcast voice in the history of the internet.
Yeah.
The most watched interview in internet history just happened between him and Donald Trump, has endorsed him. He is a lifelong atheist, liberal Democrat.
The trifecta.
The trifecta. And so you have to ask the question, what does he see coming? Because in order for you to do that, I don't think it's so much that he's endorsing Trump, which I do think part of it is that he's endorsing Trump, that he probably really had a connection with him in that interview that he didn't think he was going to have. But I think it's more of a vote against what he thinks and he knows would be coming. Y'all, that's what I think.
I was just sitting here thinking that maybe he's really examined the country and brought it all the way down to his personal life and his kids and so on and so forth, and what he's seen happen and play out over these last 4 years, basically.
Yeah.
Don't want any more of that.
Yeah. So I'm going to do something tonight, and I've really thought this through, and I understand there may be some ramifications on my part for it, because before I'm a podcaster, before I'm anything else, I am a father. Yes. I am a husband, and I am a pawpaw. And I'm going to try not to cry. That's the most important thing to me. Second to that, I am a pastor. I am a pastor, and I've never stopped being a pastor since I started the Big Picture. In case you didn't know it, I don't just do breaking news. I do an in-depth Bible study. I teach the Word of God on this channel. And I've been pastoring the same church for 30 years. I've been in pastoral ministry for 35 years, basically our entire marriage. from May to August of the first year of our marriage is the only time we've never been in ministry. Just that one summer. It's all we ever had, baby.
No.
We wasn't in the ministry. And we've been in the ministry ever since.
Yeah.
I have never endorsed a candidate from the pulpit or on this show. And by the way, tonight I'm not officially endorsing a candidate. I think most people know who I'm going to vote for. I think even people that know me in my personal life know who I'm going to vote for. And but I'm not going to openly say that. Okay, you can figure out on your own, and I think it'd be easy. But I am going to say to you that this is bigger than just a presidential election. This is bigger than a presidential election. Now, we cannot, as believers, stop what is coming. That's in the Word of God. If it's in the Word of God, I don't care how much you pray. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what you do. You can't stop what's coming. If God says there's going to be an Antichrist, there's going to be an Antichrist. If God says there's going to be a tribulation period, there's going to be a tribulation period. And nothing you can pray is going to stop. There's going to be a tribulation period one day. I understand that. But I also understand that our prayers and our actions can, and we see it in Scripture, delay judgment. Can give you more time for the harvest. And that's what I'm crying out to God. I know what's coming because the Bible's told me what's coming. I can sense it as a man of God that darkness is coming. Darkness is getting worse and worse and worse. But God, you said in your word, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, cry out to God. He says, then I'll hear from heaven and heal your land. So we know, we've seen God show in Scripture that destruction can be delayed, not eliminated. It's still coming. I believe we have an opportunity for a reprieve. I believe we have an opportunity to vote for values, not for a candidate. Some of you are just in love with the candidate. I'm not talking about being in love. I'm not in love with any candidate. I'm not in love with a candidate. My hope is not in a man.
Right.
Do you understand me? My hope is not in any politician. My hope is not in a party. My hope is not even in a platform. My hope is in God. But God has told me in Scripture, and He's told you in Scripture as a believer, that you are called salt and light for a reason. Salt and light changes the situation. Salt and light does not reflect the environment. Salt and light, when they're being salt and light, they're not off to the side staying out of the picture. You put salt on something to change it. You put salt on something to preserve it, to delay decay. In the days that Jesus said you're salt and light, He was not just necessarily talking about changing the flavor of something. He was talking about it in the sense of it being a preservative to delay disease and decay. They didn't have refrigeration. So God says when you are salt and you are light, you can change darkness into light and you can become a preservative that delays decay. Now, I don't care how you feel about this guy. I've only heard him preach a few times in my life. I know that God has used Pastor Greg Laurie to lead what's known as the Jesus movement. He was a part of the Jesus movement. Literally millions of souls have been saved because of this man. So I'm going to let him say what needs to be said to you tonight. For those that are thinking about sitting this out, for those that are thinking about choosing not to vote, listen to Pastor Greg Laurie. Do what you want to do with it.
It's very important that we as Christians vote. And our election is coming up this week, of course. And I know some would say, well, you know, Christians shouldn't get involved in politics. And after all, we're citizens of heaven and we should be in the world, but not of the world. Well, you know, it's true that we're citizens of heaven, but we're also Christians on earth. And Jesus told us to be salt and light in our culture. So how do we do that? Well, we're light, according to Jesus, when we let our light so shine before men that they may see our good works and give glory to our Father in heaven. And we're salt when we stop the spread of evil to the best of our ability. So we need to pray we need to proclaim the gospel, and we also need to vote. You know, in Acts 27, there's a fascinating little story that touches on this. So Paul was on a ship on his way to Rome. He was a prisoner, and the sea was very rough. And so they pulled off to the island of Crete, and they were debating as to whether or not they should continue on in their journey. And so they effectively took a vote. The captain and the owner of the ship and some of the sailors said, hey, we should keep going. And Paul, who had had a lot of time out on the Mediterranean, about 3,500 hours out there on the water, or miles, I should say, and had been in 3 separate shipwrecks, had a contrary view. He said, I say we should not go. But they outvoted Paul, and off they went, and sure enough, they shipwrecked. And so they should have listened to what Paul had to say. But here's my point. Paul voted. He registered his opinion, and his voice was heard. Here's the problem. According to one stat, I don't know how true this is, but it's probably pretty close to true, that there are 90 million evangelicals in America, and 40 million of them are not voting. Wow. This to me is completely unacceptable. It's very important that we vote, because we have a book of absolute truth called the Bible that tells us what God thinks about a lot of the issues that are on the ballot right now. And we need to speak out, because the Bible says when godly people rule, the people rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people groan. You know, we who are Christians and conservative have been insulted quite a bit recently by the left. They think our women are stupid and weak. They think our men are cavemen. They call us terrorists, Nazis, and fascists. They call us deplorables and outright garbage. They want to abort our babies up to 9 months, and they want to mutilate our children. They support nations that back terrorism, like Iran, and want to pull some of our support from our longtime ally, Israel. They can't define what a woman is. They want to redefine the family. They incentivize criminals and ignore the victims. And when someone says Jesus is Lord at one of their rallies, they tell them you're at the wrong rally. Wow. So this party and these people will not get my vote. I just want you to know. So people say, vote your conscience. I don't know, depends where your conscience is at. I say vote biblical values. Vote for policy over personality, but most of all, vote. And we will pray and leave the results in the hands of God. And as I've said before, whoever is elected the president of the United States, I will pray for them, because I'm told in scripture to do that very thing.
Wow. Great. That was good.
So here's the thing. You heard what the man said. I can't disagree with him. This is why God put upon Jonathan Cahn and others to write books and talk about the return of the gods. These are not new demons that we're facing. For some reason, they feel compelled to rise in this moment because people have empowered them to rise. And it's really on the people of God, because the people of God in Genesis 1:26, God gave us dominion. So in other words, this world is supposed to do what we tell it to do. And that's why the system of voting is in. It's not a kingdom principle, because the kingdom is not a democracy, the kingdom of God. But the system that we have been put in has given us the ability, as a simple human being, to just walk in a room and vote. And you're just one voice and you're just one vote. But every voter is just one voter. When you see those numbers tomorrow night, 1.5 million, behind by 500,000, ahead by not as much as they thought. It's only ahead by 200,000, thought they'd be ahead by 500,000, or there's only 1,200 votes that separate them, or this county is coming in now and we're shocked. There's only a separation of 580 votes in this county. When you start seeing those numbers, you understand something. Every one of those numbers is one voter, and then another one voter, and then another one voter. Yes. And those one voters add up to the million, and add up to the 80 million, and add up to eventually what is going to be determined where this country goes. I want to say this to you on the eve of this election from my heart. God's going to do what his word says he's going to do. But the Bible says that I will give an account for every idle word that proceedeth out of my mouth. So if I'm going to stand and give an account for what I said throughout my life, I'm also going to give an account for what I did. I cannot earn my salvation. I cannot earn my way to heaven. But Jesus said, what you've done unto the least of these, you've done unto me. In other words, what you allowed to happen to the least of these, you allowed to happen to me. So when you go in that ballot tomorrow, you understand that your vote will either protect children or do horrible things to children, protect the economy of your family, protect the future of your family, or go in a different direction. And I know there's some preachers that disagree with me, and I know there's some Christians that are going to check out on me. And I may lose a lot of subscriptions tonight. But here's the bottom line. Go vote. And whoever you vote for, I don't care. That's between you and God. But when you vote values. You don't even vote platform. And you certainly don't vote person. You vote what is the closest to the biblical values that I can vote in favor of.
Man, that was very good, babe. Very well said. And so true. We all need to do that. But most of all, we just need to get out. You don't stay home. Don't sit it out.
Don't sit it out.
Don't sit it out.
Just look, if you got to hold your nose because you don't like a personality, but you believe that behind that personality might protect your family a little bit more, then hold your nose. Yeah. Then just but look, I remember when I was a kid. I remember I was a kid hearing my granddaddy say things like this. Y'all probably heard it too. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Yes. Remember hearing that? You ain't got no right to say anything. Yes. Some of y'all think you do have a right to run your mouth. You know, so some of the biggest commenters that we have on our shows when we talk about politics is people who have said they don't vote anymore and they want to complain about the condition of the world. Yeah. Well, do something about it. Do something about it. You ain't voting for a pastor, okay? You're voting for a president. Yes. Remember that when you go vote tomorrow. Yep. I had some more stuff I'm going to say, but I think I'm just going to leave it alone. I think you did good. You did very well. All right. So hope you still love me. Can y'all smash that like button and at least let me feel a little bit better that I hadn't made all y'all mad? Smash that like button. Subscribe. Let me know what you think. Good, bad, or ugly. If you don't like it, if you don't agree with me, tell me. I want to hear it. I want to read it. I ain't scared. So I love you guys. And I want to say one more time, just to let you know, tomorrow night, y'all, we ain't playing. We ain't playing tomorrow night. We're going to try our best to give you the great experience tomorrow night. It's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. It's going to be, it's going to be like nothing we've ever done on this channel. This is going to stretch me. I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. So y'all pray for me that I don't lose my mind. By the way, while you're praying, pray for our internet, pray for our equipment, pray for everything, because the devil is going to try to hit us tomorrow night, but the devil is a lie. Yes. We didn't even get no golden chicken tonight. Did anything get a golden chicken tonight, or did the whole show get one? Well, I started to give it to that NVIDIA story, and now I realize that I totally should have done that. Okay. All right. But you know what? I think we could probably give it to these people that are planning on doing some really bad stuff in Washington. They're trying to work us up. So we're going to say, to all the enemies of God, we award you the Golden Chicken Award. Because you are a chicken. You stink, too. You stink. You're scared of God. You're scared of God. Take that. God's going to slap you. We love y'all.
Yes,
See you
Would you
tomorrow
like to
night.
help us
Bye.
build the big picture family?
We will.
We're on a mission to wake
Certainly
up
awake.
the world
Certainly
to what
awake.
is really going
I hit
on.
the wrong
All you
button.
have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.